think. So, okay. Yay. Hello. Happy Wednesday. How are you, sister?
I'm good. I'm good. I was just telling Laura, my kid just went to sleep, so I made it on time, but I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing so good. Also, I've got my daughter over here doing shenanigans as well. So, love it though. That's how the mom boss life goes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm just so grateful to have you on tonight. And thank you for being on to chat with me because I just wanted to speak with you and everyone else about the retreat and kind of just, again, talk about like what the point of it is and who should be there and why we're so excited to have you be there as a featured member of the team. So why don't you just like tell everyone your story really quickly and what you're excited to bring to the retreat within it's in 3 weeks.
Oh, it's coming up so soon. I'm so excited. Yeah, my story. Okay, where do I start? I will tell the story as it relates to why I do what I do and how I'll be bringing that to the retreat. Does that work?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of put my childhood in a nutshell, but I grew up, and I think a lot of us grew up really similarly, where we were kind of taught, living in this Western world, I was taught to basically put a Band-Aid on everything, like whether it was with things or just any type of distraction, right? And so I grew up, I'm gonna get a little vulnerable, but I feel like that's appropriate for the community that's being created with this retreat. My parents split when I was really young, and there was just like a lot of just very tumultuous dynamic there. And I was put on antidepressants at a very young age. I'm talking 8 years old. Okay. So
Wow.
I was thrown into therapy, family therapy, put on medication, my siblings as well, and really just groomed from a very young age that there's something wrong with you and we need to just like fix it. We need to fix you. And I just started to observe through my life. I wasn't as conscious to it at a younger age, but as I got older, questioning things around me, like, wait, why do I do these things? And why am I buying these things? Or just questioning all the ways that I was reaching for something to distract myself. And, I grew up with a single mother for most of my life and most of my childhood. And she got really into personal development and like hopped on the Tony Robbins bandwagon and everyone else, Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer, all these really amazing thinkers and influencers and leaders. And I started to kind of pick up on those things and learn those things and learn that, wait, I didn't have to go through life just being someone that, I was told I had to be. I started to become conscious to the fact that my thoughts could create my life, that I'm in charge of my actions. I could create my life instead of just reacting to it all the time. All this to say, I went off medication after I finished college around 23 years old. And I realized I don't think that I have a problem. I think I was just, I don't know, my parents were doing the best that they could. And I think I was just, reacting through life thinking, oh, you think this, so I believe you. And so I kind of started to break out of that and start to think for myself in my early 20s. And then I'll just shoot to the juicy stuff, which was, I'd say 4 years ago, roughly 4 years ago, I discovered minimalism. Now, I am someone that battled anxiety on and off. And I was also in the corporate world for a very long time. I was in public accounting and consulting and finance for over 10 years. And yeah, accounting season and all of that stuff was very anxiety ridden. Not to mention, like, I was a young woman in a male dominated field and all the things that come with that. And just corporate in general. Corporate in general is very like, we have a structure, you need to follow it. Like, there's not a lot of room for creativity and expressing ourselves and being ourselves. So I went through that. And then when I found minimalism, I had a coach at the time as well. And I started to apply it to my life. This is where things get good. And I started to apply it to my life, and I started becoming obsessed with like identifying things that didn't align with me. And sometimes it wasn't like, oh, that's me and that's not me. It was just like, that doesn't make me feel good. And I mean this in the physical sense of things around me, but also I started to think like about the people around me. There's a lot of talk in personal development and self-help around, our community is such an important piece of our healing, right? And it oddly is an important piece of our discovery, our self-discovery as well. So yeah, I started to apply that minimalist kind of approach to not just physical, but habitual is what I call it. And social, right? So like the things I was doing every day and the people I was around. And then when I had my coaching business at the time and I was still employed as well, I started to put a group through a beta and tested this out and made it into a structure. I put myself through it and then I started to put a group through it. And it was so powerful. I mean, you know how you feel when you clean off like your desk or like your closet, right? Now imagine doing that to the rest of your life. And what I noticed was it I don't want to say force, but it invited me through that process of, we'll just say decluttering, right? These really large areas of my life that I was decluttering. It made me or encouraged me and led me to facing a lot of my own trauma. And what I mean by that is the things that I felt the strongest about discarding, but the strongest, like the strongest connection to, which makes kind of makes sense because it was attached to a story, which was wrapped in my trauma and that whole thing of like, I'm not good enough or whatever. So we all have a story, right? So it led me to becoming hyper conscious to what that story was, because it was like, all right, I'm trying to let go of these things. I need to first question, why am I hanging on to them? Why am I hanging on to this person? Why do I do this every day? Why do I have this belief? And so the Less Effect was born, essentially, which is my method that explores the physical, social, and habitual areas of our life, and becoming conscious, bringing all of that story and those attachments out of our subconscious into our conscious mind so we can let go and essentially uncover. We're not trying to become someone else. We're trying to uncover who we are and go back to that true identity. So it's identity work.
Oh my gosh, I'm like so fired up
Yeah.
to have you there and to just experience that piece of the weekend, because it's just going to tie in so nicely. For those of you who aren't up to speed yet with what this retreat is all about. Okay, you guys, I know most of you, if you know me, you associate me with like a business retreat, that type of thing. And this is not that. This is an emotional healing, wellness, breakthrough retreat. So you're going to have it all. You're going to have, the healthy food and the fun. And what's most important right now, I think, me personally, having experienced in 2020, the need ever so much for community and being together with humans. And we just like have not had access to that really a lot in 2020. Of course, depending on where you live, what county you live in, what state you live in right now, you have different access to that. And also, of course, depending on like how well you are or what your immune system, et cetera, all of those things are like. And so what is really put into perspective for me is we've always needed community and we've always known that. And I have built my business all mostly on virtual community, and we'll continue to do that along with the rest of the world who is now forced to build virtual community, virtual business, and that sort of thing. So what this retreat is for, though, is bringing just a small group of women together. At max, it's going to be 12 women together, and we are going to be really tapping into a lot of those things that you don't even know have been that trauma source, kind of keeping you stuck in a particular area of your life. And I only had clarity on this just a couple years ago when I realized that I had been just like harboring so much shame about choices that I had made like 20 years ago when I was like a child, and still carrying that with me till this day. Well, not anymore. I don't have shame around who I was 20 years ago. But when it was until I realized that that was what was keeping me stuck, that I didn't have any more like blockages, and was able to just really kind of move forward. And so I'm so excited for the women coming to this retreat because, like, listen, I could chat for days and speak to a group of women for days on end and be fine with that. But how boring would that be to just hear from one person? Which is why it was really important for me to reach out and find, just the perfect fit of a team to collaborate and bring so much goodness to these women. So I have you, beautiful Samantha Joy, who basically shares the same name as my daughter. My daughter is Samantha Joyce.
Oh,
So
that's right. I always forget about that. So
yes.
funny.
So, and I have another friend named Sammy Joe. So
There you
I'm
go.
surrounded by Sammy Joes, and I just love it.
Nice.
And so we have you coming to the retreat
Yeah.
and sharing some magical goodness with us, and just really helping for breakthrough. And it's going to really just complement the other speakers that we have there, and other people who are just contributing to this event. So I am
Yay.
so fired up for it. It's going to be like, you guys, listen, of course, come cute and all that stuff. But then after that, we're going to be like crying the whole weekend. So I'm so excited for all just the little details that will be shared with the little private group that winds up committing to this. And I think the timing is just so perfect because it's November 13th. So literally right before Thanksgiving. Like Thanksgiving is like what, 10 days after. So like that. And then the holidays are coming up, and then it's New Year's. So this is the perfect time to really get perspective on what happened to you, not only in 2020, but every year before that. Like you said, the subconscious mind is really at play in literally everything, even like who you're voting for. Like we could get all into those details, but you have all of your subconscious mind at work here, and getting a grip on what that is, getting some foundation around what's going on. I mean, we're not going to like completely heal you in 3 days, but what we are going to do is give you the tools, the mindset tools, the things you need to have in your back pocket going into 2021. Yay, who's excited for 2021? I know that I am. But all of this stuff that you need to have to be armored with around your
Yes.
heart and soul. And
So
just make
important.
so any final words or anything you'd like to say, why people should be there to come learn from you and from me and from everyone else?
Well, I love what you said about it's going to be intensive, it's going to be powerful, and it won't necessarily heal you, but it will give the people coming, the women coming, so many tools to walk out with. But I think what the most important piece of healing, and I think, Laura, you can agree, is really pulling out a lot of that stuff that's buried in that subconscious, because that's what starts the healing journey. And that is what I believe is going down at this retreat, is a lot of that stuff's going to come out. There's going to be a lot of group crying. I'm a huge fan of that. I love having that female energy, that support, that love there, that, judgment-free zone. And the fact that you're creating that even more empowers the women to step into that healing journey, because we can try to do it alone and it's not the same. It's just not the same. And so what I'm really excited for is getting to the heart of what all these women, have as their story, and putting them face to face with it and being support for them through that. And then allowing them to understand that there are ways to move forward through it. Because that's how we get to healing, is going through it, right? And then that support will be there through that hard time.
100%. And I just want to tie that in with, I've had a few women like tagging their best friends to come, like if you go, I'll go type of thing. But I really want to challenge you guys. If your best friend is coming, that's awesome. But if not, to really challenge yourself to come alone, because you will leave with 12 new best friends. And not only that, but it'll just give you that chance to be extra vulnerable without fear of who may be judging you. Because sometimes we just have that, again, subconsciously. So I really want to challenge you. I used to be that person who could not go anywhere without a wingman. Like I just could not. Like but then traveling for my business, it kind of forced me to do things by myself, like go sit in a bar by myself and order dinner. I remember the first time I did that, I literally was sweating. I was so, I did not like that. And now I do it all the time.
It's
So
awesome.
it's fun. But, I just want to encourage you guys, like, please just come. If this is speaking to you, it's for a reason. God has it on your heart for a reason. And you will love every moment of it. And when you come home on Sunday, you are just going to feel like a brand new woman, really equipped to step into the next year and beyond, and just kind of start fostering. I don't even want to say these changes, but fostering like who you are on the inside, removing all those masks and layers, and really just like stepping into who you are and not caring anymore about it.
So good. So that is my goal too for my time there. I'm going to put everything I got into that time. And all I want for these women is for them to let go of who they were to become who they are. That's my goal.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just be your own muse.
Yes. Are we going to get swag?
Listen, I'm not revealing all the secrets. I have a hard time. If you follow me on my stories, like especially on the gram, like I'm giving away too much already because I want it to be surprises, but I'm just not doing a very good job at that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much for being on. I can't wait to spend time with you in just 3 weeks. And ladies, there are literally only 5 spots left. So head on over to lauramuse.co/be your own muse, grab your spot, and you will love it.
We'll see you there.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.